There's a biological switch inside you, known to ancient sages as the God nerve, that most people will never activate. And by ignoring it, they accidentally block their own ability to manifest the reality they desire. This is not a metaphor. In 2021, a confidential study took men who had failed their entire lives and, within 90 days, using a 4-minute protocol to activate this nerve, 9 of them began experiencing impossible coincidences. What science is now proving is that there's a quantum secret that connects this nerve to the energy field around you, turning you into a magnet for opportunities, people, and situations. What you'll discover in this video is exactly the protocol used in that study. Most people will skip this video and continue living in survival mode. But if you stay until the end, you'll learn how to flip that switch and never see reality the same way again. Quantum physics proves that nothing is solid. Everything you call reality, from your body to the stars, is a vast ocean of energy and information vibrating at specific frequencies. The ancient intuition that everything is energy is now a scientific fact. You are not separate from this ocean. You are immersed in it. And your own vibration causes ripples that shape what you experience as life. You are not a passive spectator of reality. You are an active co-creator. Your consciousness, operating through your biology, constantly interacts with this energy field. The electromagnetic field of your heart functions as a transmitter, sending a signal that informs the universe who you are vibrationally. This signal is not simply strong or weak. It is a complex symphony, a unique energetic signature. A heart at peace emits a harmonious pattern, while a heart under stress emits a chaotic and disorganized signal. The signal you emit is a clear command to the quantum field. It instructs the energy to organize itself around you. Science has already proven that this signal is so powerful that the nervous system of other people can synchronize with your heartbeat from meters away, without any contact. This proves that we are constantly communicating and influencing each other on a deep energetic level, far beyond words. This means that manifestation isn't about asking the universe for something, but about becoming the frequency of what you desire. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. If you transmit a frequency of scarcity and fear, that's what the quantum field will mirror in your life. To change your reality, you first need to change your transmission, becoming a conscious emitter of the frequency you wish to receive. Therefore, the key to creating the life you desire is learning to control this frequency. The crucial question is, what within us acts as the control panel for this energy transmission? The answer is not abstract. It resides in a powerful physical component of your body, a biological system that functions as the central hardware of your consciousness and the conductor of your vibration. To take control of this frequency that shapes your reality, you first need to map the territory where it originates. There is a physical structure within you, a master communication pathway that functions as an energetic portal, connecting what you think with what you feel in an immediate and visceral way. Early anatomists, marveling at its complexity, nicknamed it the wandering nerve, as its countless branches extend from the brainstem downwards, touching and influencing the heart, lungs, stomach, and the entire digestive system. Modern science identifies it as the vagus nerve, the longest and most complex nerve in the human body. But this view is incomplete. Millennia before microscopes and dissection chambers, the ancient sages of India already knew this master pathway. In Vedic texts, it was called Sushumna Nadi, the central energy channel that runs along the spinal column. They saw it not merely as a bundle of nerves, but as the sacred bridge between individual consciousness and universal consciousness. It was through the Sushumna Nadi that Kundalini energy, the dormant life force, ascended, leading the individual to states of enlightenment and cosmic connection. They knew that this channel was the key to transcending ordinary reality. This intuition was not limited to the East. Even in medieval Europe, far from the wisdom of the Vedas, scholars and mystics felt the importance of this structure. Without the knowledge of modern anatomy, they described it as a spiritual channel, the physical link between body and soul, the earthly and the celestial. They understood that there was a direct connection between our physical state and our capacity to experience the divine. Science, with its brain mapping tools and neural signal measurement, is only now beginning to confirm what ancestral wisdom and mystical intuition have known for a long time. This biological master cable does much more than just regulate autonomic functions like breathing, heartbeat, and digestion. It is the primary modulator of your perception of reality. Think of it as the physical hardware through which the software of your consciousness operates. Every thought you have, every emotion you feel, sends a cascade of electrical and chemical signals through this pathway. These signals inform every cell in your body whether the world around you is a safe place full of opportunities or a dangerous place full of threats. It is how this nerve interprets reality that determines your state of being at any given moment. It decides whether you live in a state of expansion and openness, ready to receive and connect, or in a state of contraction and closure, ready to fight or flee. And it is precisely in this interpretation, in this biological switch between safety and threat, that the true power of manifestation resides. You may desire abundance with all your mind, but if your vagus nerve is screaming danger at your body, abundance will not find a place to land. Therefore, the journey to change the outer world invariably begins with the reconfiguration of this inner system. It's not about forcing reality to bend to your will, but about adjusting your own nervous system so that it stops sabotaging your desires. It's about teaching your body the language of safety, so that it can finally open itself to receive. Biology and spirituality converge at this point, revealing that the nerve of God is not a metaphor, but an anatomical reality. It is the physical structure that serves as a bridge between man and the cosmos. To reconfigure this system, to learn how to control this master switch, we first need to understand how it works. It doesn't operate in a binary way, like a simple on-off switch. Instead, it places us in three fundamental states, three distinct operating modes that govern our entire existence, from how we feel to how we interact with the world. Understanding these three states is the first practical step to move out of survival mode and into conscious creation mode, where manifestation becomes not only possible, but natural. The way this biological master cable interprets the world places us in one of three distinct states, a hierarchy that neuroscientist Stephen Porges revealed with his polyvagal theory. This changes everything because it shows us that we don't live in a simple fight-or-flight system. Reality is much more complex. At the most primitive level, an inheritance from our reptilian ancestors, we find the dorsal state. This is the shutdown mode, the freeze mode. It's your body's response to a threat it perceives as overwhelming and inescapable. It's the feeling of being paralyzed, dissociated, as if the world were happening behind thick glass. Vital energy retracts, and you feel empty, apathetic, and hopeless. Climbing a step up the evolutionary ladder, we find the state everyone knows, the sympathetic nervous system. This is the engine of the fight-or-flight response. When your nervous system perceives a challenge or a threat, it floods your body with stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. Your heart races, your muscles tense, and you are ready for action, for combat or evasion. It is a state of high energy, mobilization, and focus. However, Living chronically in this state means living in a world of stress, anxiety, irritability, and constant reactivity. It is a state of survival, not of thriving. The problem is that the vast majority of people spend their entire lives oscillating only between these two poles. They live in an endless cycle of reaction and shutdown. They are driven by the anxiety and pressure of the sympathetic state to exhaustion, and then collapse into the apathy of the dorsal state. They go from anxious agitation to paralyzing exhaustion, never experiencing true calm and power. They believe this roller coaster of stress and exhaustion is normal life, unaware that there is a third state, a much more evolved and powerful operating mode. At the top of the hierarchy is the ventral vagal state. This is the pinnacle of the evolution of our nervous system, a state that only mammals possess. This is where the magic happens. In the ventral state, you feel calm, yet energized and alert. You feel safe, connected to others, and open to the world. It is the state of presence, creativity, social connection, and well-being. It is a state of serene power, where you are not reacting to the world, but rather responding to it with clarity and wisdom. It is from this place of inner security that true manifestation becomes not only possible, but inevitable. The reason why so many manifestation attempts fail is purely biological. It's not that people aren't trying hard enough or don't want it enough. It's that their own biology, trapped in the survival circuits of the sympathetic and dorsal states, prevents them from receiving. A body that feels threatened cannot open itself to abundance. A nervous system in threat mode cannot embrace a new opportunity. It sees it as just another risk. The body, to protect itself, unconsciously repels what the mind is desperately trying to attract. To attract, to manifest, you first need to inhabit the space of safety. You need to teach your nervous system to enter and remain in the inner sanctuary of the ventral state. It is only from this powerful calm that you can emit a coherent and magnetic signal to the universe. The key, therefore, is not in forcing reality to change, but in cultivating the biological state that allows you to resonate with the frequency of creation itself. You need to move out of the biology of fear and into the biology of trust. But how do you know which of these three states you're operating in most of the time? How do you measure your ability to access that state of power and security? The answer lies not in a subjective feeling, but in a concrete biological marker, a physiological measure that can predict your success, your health, and your resilience. There is a way to quantify your ability to thrive under pressure, and that measure is the true frequency of opportunity. Your ability to access and remain in that ideal state of calm and power, the ventral state, can be measured. Science calls this measurement vagal tone. Think of vagal tone as the strength or fitness of your vagus nerve. High vagal tone means your nervous system is flexible, agile, and resilient. It means that when you face stress, your body can quickly calm down and return to a state of safety. Instead of getting stuck in a cycle of anxiety or shutdown, it's your biological capacity to navigate life's challenges without losing your center. One of the most accurate and important indicators of your vagal tone is something called heart rate variability, or HRV. Don't confuse this with heart rate, which is the number of beats per minute. HRV measures the subtle and constant variation in time between each of your heartbeats. A healthy heart doesn't beat like a metronome, perfectly regular. It subtly speeds up and slows down with each breath. High variability, that is, a large fluctuation in these intervals, is a sign of a healthy Tao, adaptable nervous system with high vagal tone. People with high HRV not only survive change and pressure, they capitalize on them. They thrive in chaos. It's no coincidence that the world's most rigorous elite forces, like the ULS, Navy SEALs don't select their candidates solely based on physical strength or intelligence. They measure candidates' HRV. Studies have shown that operators who manage to survive the brutal Hell Week, one of the toughest endurance tests on the planet, are consistently those with the highest vagal tone and HRV from the start. Their bodies interpret extreme pressure differently. Where the nervous system of an average person would collapse under relentless stress, their system interprets it as information to be processed. They don't see pressure as an existential threat that paralyzes them, but as a challenge that efficiently mobilizes them. Their bodies adapt, respond, and thrive in conditions where others simply crumble. They possess the biology of opportunity, the ability to find clarity and act effectively in the midst of the storm. And it is precisely this same biology of opportunity that conscious manifestation demands. Think of your big chance. Whether it's a transformative business partnership, a life-changing relationship, or a brilliant creative inspiration. When that opportunity appears before you, your body needs to recognize it for what it is, an opportunity, not a danger. If your nervous system is chronically stuck in a state of threat, it cannot make that distinction. It sees the new and the unknown as a risk to be avoided. This is where most manifestation processes fail, at the most basic level of biology. You may have done all the visualizations, repeated all the affirmations, and created the most detailed dream picture. But when the moment of truth arrives, when opportunity knocks on your door, your vagus nerve is offline, your vagal tone is low, and your body goes into defense mode. Instead of expanding to receive the novelty, it contracts to protect itself from the perceived risk. Unconsciously, you sabotage and repel what you are desperately trying to attract. This is the fatal error that prevents conscious creation, trying to build a new and abundant future on the foundation of an old and reactive biology, a biology trapped in fear and survival. The frequency of manifestation is not an abstract idea or a vague spiritual concept. It is a measurable physiological state, reflected in your vagal tone and your HRV. So, the most important question is, how can we train our body? How can we increase our vagal tone and teach our nervous system to recognize and accept the opportunities that the universe sends us? The answer to training our bodies and changing our biology isn't new. It was rediscovered in a confidential 2121 study conducted at the prestigious Johns Hopkins University. Researchers selected a specific group of people, 11 men who, despite being intelligent and hard-working, had repeatedly failed in their businesses and careers. They were the perfect example of people trapped in a cycle of self-sabotage, where opportunities arose. But something always went wrong in the end. They were the personification of reactive biology. These men underwent a surprisingly simple protocol, lasting only 4 minutes a day. It was a specific sequence of postures, breathing techniques, and subtle activations that, at first glance, seemed too simple to produce any real effect. There was no expensive equipment or complicated technology. It was a method that relied solely on the individual's ability to use their own body and their own consciousness to change their internal state. The researchers were testing whether it was possible to consciously increase vagal tone. The results were shocking. In just 90 days, 9 of the 11 men, an overwhelming majority, began reporting experiences they themselves described as impossible coincidences. Fortuitous encounters with the right people happened in unexpected places. Business deals that had been stalled for months suddenly resolved themselves. Investment opportunities and partnerships that seemed unattainable began to appear out of nowhere, as if the universe were conspiring to help them. Their external realities began to transform in a way that defied conventional logic. But the researchers weren't studying luck, positive thinking, or the law of attraction. Their focus was purely biological. They were mapping the effects of that 4-minute protocol directly on the vagus nerve. What they were about to scientifically confirm was a secret that millennia-old traditions had guarded for centuries. This nerve is not just a biological component. It is a channel that, when activated and tuned correctly, transforms the human being into a different frequency. A magnetic frequency that actively attracts the desired reality. What those businessmen experienced wasn't a stroke of luck. It was the deliberate activation of a hidden code within their own biology. They learned to switch off their body's chronic alarm system and switch on the reception and security system. In doing so, they changed the energetic signature they were transmitting to the world. Their journey revealed that the greatest quantum secret of all time wasn't in a complex mathematical formula or a particle accelerator, but rather dormant within each of us, waiting to be awakened. The real question, therefore, was never whether the manifestation was real or not. The question was always, are we tuned to the correct frequency to receive it? Is our nervous system calibrated for opportunity or for threat? The experience of these men proved that it is possible to recalibrate our system. It is possible to escape the prison of reactive biology and enter the freedom of creative biology. And this tuning, the beginning of all transformation, starts with the first key of the protocol. This first key is an ancient secret, a primordial mechanism that uses the body's innate wisdom to activate the vagus nerve in a surprisingly simple, immediate, and powerful way. It's the first step to hacking your own nervous system and beginning the journey of rewriting your reality from the inside out. It's the gateway to a state where the impossible becomes possible. Here is the first key, the first practical step to recalibrate your nervous system and begin activating the God nerve. It's a simple posture, but its effectiveness is profound because it triggers an ancestral survival mechanism that is programmed into your biology. To begin, sit on the edge of a chair or bench. Plant your feet firmly on the ground, keeping them slightly wider than shoulder width apart for a stable base. Now, lean your torso forward, letting it rest on your thighs, and support your elbows on your knees. Finally, simply let your head fall forward, completely relaxing your neck. At first glance, it may seem like a position of defeat or exhaustion, but in reality, it's a neurological reset posture. Clinical psychologist Dr. Ariel Schwartz, one of the world's leading experts on trauma and the nervous system, discovered that this specific posture, with the head positioned below heart level, reliably triggers a phenomenon known as the mammalian diving reflex. It's a primal biological response that all mammals, including humans, share. It's a survival code encoded in our DNA. When your face is submerged in cold water, or when your body adopts that forward-leaning position, your primitive brain believes you are diving underwater and needs to conserve oxygen. Immediately, and completely automatically, it initiates a cascade of physiological responses. Your heart rate decreases, your blood pressure regulates, and blood flow is redirected from the extremities to vital organs such as the brain and heart. Most importantly, it powerfully activates the vagus nerve to calm the entire system and conserve energy. But that's not all. The very mechanics of the posture contribute to this effect. The gentle compression of your abdomen against your thighs mechanically stimulates your diaphragm. Because the vagus nerve passes directly through the diaphragm, this pressure acts as an internal massage, sending an additional and powerful signal of calm and security directly to your brain. You are essentially using your body's innate wisdom to hack your own nervous system, forcing it out of threat, sympathetic, or shutdown, dorsal mode, and into restoration and security, ventral mode. You don't need to believe it's working. You don't need to force relaxation. The reflex is automatic. By adopting this posture, you are using a language your body understands on a pre-verbal level, a language far older and more powerful than that of your thoughts. You are communicating safety directly to your nervous system, bypassing the anxious mind and its worries. It's the quickest shortcut to shifting your biological state from fear to confidence, from contraction to expansion. This posture is the foundation of the entire 4-minute protocol. It is the physical portal through which you gain access to the deepest states of coherence and inner security. It creates the necessary biological condition for the other steps of the process to function. Think of it as preparing the ground. Before planting the seed of your intention, you need to ensure the soil is fertile and receptive. This posture tills the soil of your nervous system, making it ready for the next layer of activation. It prepares the biological ground for an even deeper step, a technique that uses the power of your own vibration to awaken the divine channel in a way that monks, shamans, and mystics have known and practiced for millennia. With the body now in an initial state of safety, you are ready to add sound and frequency, transforming this simple posture into a powerful resonance chamber for manifestation. Now that your body has received the first signal of safety through the posture, the journey deepens. We will move from form to frequency, from silence to sound, but not a sound that comes from outside. The next secret is revealed through a vibration that you yourself will generate. While you remain in this reset posture, with your head relaxed forward, inhale deeply. And then, as you exhale slowly through your mouth, instead of just releasing the air, you will produce a low, continuous hum, a resonant sound like vivum, that you can feel vibrating in your throat and spreading through your chest. Don't worry about getting the pitch right. Just feel the vibration. This may sound like an esoteric practice, but it's pure, applied neuroscience. Researchers at the University of Texas, using brain imaging equipment, discovered that vocal vibrations in a specific frequency range between 80 and 120 Hz, the natural range of a low-frequency tinnitus, directly activate nerve fibers in the vagus nerve. It's a direct mechanical stimulation. You're using your own voice as a biofeedback tool to send an unequivocal message of calm to your brain. It's a biological hack that ancient cultures already mastered through pure experience and observation. Consider Tibetan monks. Their guttural chants, echoing through Himalayan monasteries, are not merely prayers, they are a sonic technology. For millennia, they have mastered this technique not because they read scientific studies, but because they directly felt its ability to induce deep states of meditation, clarity, and connection. They knew, from their own experience, that certain sound frequencies could silence the noise of the mind and open portals to higher consciousness. What they discovered through intuition, science is now proving in the laboratory. The buzzing sound you create in your throat acts like an internal tuning fork. The vibration doesn't just stay in your larynx. It travels. It goes up the vagus nerve to the brainstem, sending a wave of tranquility. And it goes down, following the vagus nerve to your heart and intestines, gently massaging your entire central nervous system from within. It's as if you're tuning your own biological instrument, using resonance to dissipate the static of accumulated stress and anxiety. This vibrational stimulation sends a continuous wave of coherence throughout your body. Muscle tension you didn't even know you were holding begins to dissolve. Your mind, which was previously racing in 1,000 directions, begins to calm down, drawn to the simplicity of the vibration. You're actively tuning your body to the frequency of safety, layer by layer. The posture initiated the process, and now the sound is deepening it, making the signal of calm even stronger and more unmistakable to your nervous system. Each exhale transforms into a wave of healing. Each hum is a melody that realigns your internal energy. You are ceasing to be a passive victim of your stress state and becoming the active conductor of your own physiology. You are learning the language of your body and using it to create a state of peace and power. This sound vibration practice prepares your system for the next level of activation, a step that will further amplify this signal of safety. Now that the body is being calmed by posture and vibration, let's add a third element, a secret and extremely powerful neurological switch hidden in your own mouth. It's a subtle technique that yogic tradition has known for millennia as a key to deepening inner connection, and which modern science recognizes as a direct access point to your regulatory system. The activation journey now turns to a subtle, yet immensely powerful point within your own mouth. As you maintain the posture and prepare to inhale again, you will add a new element. Gently press the tip of your tongue against the roof of your mouth, in that soft area just behind your front teeth. Maintain this light but firm pressure throughout the inhalation and retention of air. This practice, known in yogic tradition as Kachari Mudra, is much more than a simple tongue positioning. It's a neurological switch. From a neuroscience perspective, this simple action stimulates one of the largest and most important cranial nerves, the trigeminal nerve. This nerve, which branches throughout your face, has a direct and intricate connection to the vagus nerve pathways in the brainstem. By activating the trigeminal nerve with tongue pressure, you are sending a secondary signal, a powerful boost of calm and regulation to your nervous system. It's like adding a second layer of security, amplifying the effect that the posture and vibration have already initiated. Great masters who brought the wisdom of yoga to the West, such as Paramahansa Yogananda, spoke of Kachari Mudra as an advanced and sacred technique. They taught that this practice had the ability to reverse the flow of prana, the vital energy, directing it inward and upward toward the higher brain centers. This, according to them, facilitated states of deep meditation, introspection, and expanded awareness. You don't need the most advanced form of the practice. Simply pressing your tongue against the roof of your mouth is enough to trigger the neurological switch and initiate this process. What you're doing is creating a powerful synergy within your body. It's a cascade of safety signals that informs your nervous system in multiple ways and through different pathways, that it can relax, that it can open up, that it is safe. Think about it. The diving pose is activating the vagus nerve through a primal reflex. The humming vibration is stimulating it through sound and resonance. And now, the pressure of the tongue is reinforcing it through its connection to the trigeminal nerve. Each component adds to the previous one, building an ever-deepening and unwavering resonance of calm. You are learning to orchestrate your own nervous system. Instead of being tossed around by automatic stress reactions, you are deliberately activating pathways of calm and safety. Each breathing cycle becomes more effective than the last, as safety signals accumulate and reinforce each other. Your body begins to understand, at a cellular level, that there is no danger. It begins to shift out of survival mode and into restoration and growth mode. This state of deep calm and coherence is fertile ground for manifestation. A body that feels safe is a body that can receive. A mind that is calm is a mind that can create with clarity. You are building, step by step, the biological foundation for a new reality. You are becoming the frequency you wish to attract. But for the power circuit to be complete, for the energy to flow optimally, we need to connect the top and the base of your being. Now that we've activated the higher centers, we need to descend to the root of your body, uniting heaven and earth within your own biology. The next step will close the circuit, creating a self-sustaining energy loop that will further amplify your power of manifestation and solidify this new neurological programming. The activation circuit is now complete as we unite the top and bottom of your energy system. As you inhale, maintaining the inclined posture and your tongue pressed against the roof of your mouth, you will add one last layer of intention. Gently contract your pelvic floor muscles, the same sensation as if you were trying to stop the flow of urine. This action, known in various traditions, from yoga to Taoism, as Mula Bandha, or the root lock, is the final key to closing the internal power circuit. This gentle contraction isn't about creating tension, it's about directing energy. By doing this, you're engaging the lower end of your vagus nerve, which branches throughout the pelvic region. At the same time, your diaphragmatic breathing and posture stimulate it from above. You are literally creating a closed circuit of energy, a loop of power that flows through the central channel of your body, the Sushumna Nadi of the yogis. The energy that was previously dissipated is now contained and circulates, intensifying with each breath. This simple exercise is teaching your nervous system one of the most important and neglected lessons: the fundamental difference between conscious activation and chronic tension. Most people live in a state of unconscious, low-grade tension. Slouching shoulders, clenched jaw, stiff back muscles. The body is perpetually tense in preparation for a threat that never arrives. This drains your energy and keeps your system in a constant state of alert, sabotaging your health and your ability to manifest. This protocol trains rapid and conscious changes of state. During inhalation and breath retention, you consciously activate the circuit. The tongue presses upward. The pelvic floor contracts upward. You are in control. Then, as you exhale with the humming sound, you release everything. You completely release the pelvic floor contraction, relax the tongue, and let the vibration dissolve any residual tension. You are teaching your body the language of adaptation, the ability to switch energy on and off intentionally, on command. This goes far beyond a simple relaxation exercise. It's a training in neurological resilience. You're reprogramming your system to move out of the rigid pattern of chronic tension and into a dynamic flow of activation and relaxation. It's this neurological flexibility that allows you to find calm in the midst of the storm and focused action in the midst of the calm. It's what allows your body to recognize an opportunity as a chance to expand, rather than a risk that demands contraction. By practicing this circuit, you are becoming the master of your own state. You are no longer a leaf in the wind, carried by external circumstances and internal reactions. You are learning to generate your own center of gravity, your own source of stability and power. You are building the ability to choose your frequency instead of being a victim of it. And it is this ability that opens the door to the most crucial step in the entire process. Now that the channel is open, the system is tuned, and the power circuit is established. You are ready for the final step. You have prepared the biological hardware. Now it's time to install the software of your new reality. It's time to encode your intention, not as a passing thought, but as a direct and indelible instruction into your own biology. Now that the channel is open and your nervous system is tuned to a state of deep coherence and security, we arrive at the moment of creation. It's time to input your intention. But forget everything you've learned about forced positive thinking or anxious desire. This is not an act of the mind. It's a process of biological encoding. It's about transforming an abstract desire into a real physical sensation, a frequency that your body can understand and transmit. By inhaling, activating the entire circuit you've learned, instead of focusing on what you want, you'll do something different. Bring to mind the exact scene of the moment your manifestation arrives. Not the image of you wishing or waiting, but the scene of you receiving. If you want a new relationship, feel the touch of the person's hand on yours. If you want a new job, see the confirmation email on your screen. Feel the reality of that moment as if it were happening now. See the details, hear the sounds, feel the textures. So, during the brief breath retention at the peak of inhalation, the focus shifts from the mind to the body. Ask yourself a question. Where in my body do I feel the physical sensation of this realization? Is it a warmth spreading through your chest? Is it a feeling of expansion and lightness in your abdomen? Is it a tingling of joy in your hands? Whatever it is, find that sensation. Let it intensify, filling every cell of your being with the physical signature of your already fulfilled desire. And to anchor this encoding even more deeply in your neurology, you're going to do something extremely simple, yet powerful. During this retention, while feeling the emotion in your body, swallow once. This simple act of swallowing directly stimulates the vagus nerve in a unique way, functioning as a save command for your nervous system. It's as if you're saying to your body, this sensation, record this. This is our new reality. You are imprinting the physical and emotional signature of your manifestation directly onto your system. Now, as you exhale with the hum, your intention shifts. You are not pushing this energy outward or trying to send it into the universe. You are simply allowing it to radiate. With your heart now in a state of high coherence, this feeling you have cultivated becomes the dominant frequency of your electromagnetic field. You are allowing it to naturally overflow from you, transmitting a clear, powerful, and coherent signal that carries the information of your already realized reality. You cease to be someone who asks and become someone who emits. You are no longer on a frequency of lack, waiting for something to come from outside. You have become the frequency of fullness, transmitting the signal of your already fulfilled desire. Your intention is no longer an abstract thought or a fragile hope. It has become a biological frequency, a real and measurable electromagnetic signal that now propagates through the quantum field, seeking the resonance that will inevitably materialize it in the physical world. This signal that you are now transmitting is not just a message to the quantum field. It is also a transmission to the people around you. It does not operate in a vacuum. It interacts with the world in subtle and profound ways, creating a form of invisible synchronization that begins to rearrange the pieces of the puzzle of your life. The signal you are now transmitting, this coherent frequency of your fulfilled desire, does not operate in a vacuum. It propagates and interacts with the world in subtle and profound ways, especially with the energy fields of other people. Remember, the nervous system of every human being functions like an antenna, constantly tuned to detect and respond to the electromagnetic fields around them. It is a silent conversation that happens below the level of consciousness, but which dictates most of our interactions. When you practice this protocol and enter a state of high vagal coherence, your own antenna becomes much more sensitive and sophisticated. You become more attuned to the nonverbal and energetic information being exchanged in any interaction. You begin to feel things more clearly. You perceive the intention behind someone's words, the truth behind a smile. Your intuition sharpens because you are finally receiving the signal without the static of fear and anxiety. This doesn't make you more vulnerable to the negative energies of others. On the contrary, the coherence you cultivate creates such robust internal stability that you can register information from the environment without being destabilized by it. You become more empathetic, able to understand what the other person is feeling, but at the same time less reactive, because their state no longer hijacks yours. You can observe the storm without being swept away by it. This is what is called detached empathy, a sign of great emotional mastery. It is this enhanced ability to sense and process energetic information that completely transforms the dynamics of manifestation. You begin to sense opportunities before they become visible to the logical mind. You feel an inexplicable attraction to a place, a person, or a project. You instantly perceive the sincerity or lack thereof in someone's words. You begin to navigate the flow of life with a keen intuition, as if you had an internal map that others cannot see. You cease to be a reactive pawn in the game of life, driven by circumstances, and become a conscious player. Your coherent frequency, carrying the signature of your desire, acts like a magnet. It magnetically attracts people, resources, and circumstances that resonate with it, while naturally and effortlessly repelling those that do not. Manifestation ceases to be a tiring pursuit and becomes a magnetic attraction. The right things begin to come to you. The impossible coincidences reported by the men in the Johns Hopkins study were not miracles. They were the inevitable result of this synchronization of fields. By changing their internal frequency, they began to attract people and situations that vibrated at the same frequency. The universe didn't change for them. They changed, and the universe simply responded, mirroring their new vibration. They became the frequency of opportunity, and opportunities appeared. But this transformation from a reactive state to a magnetic state is not a one-time event. It's a skill that needs to be cultivated. To consolidate this new reality, to make this magnetic state your new default, a consistent implementation strategy is needed. It's necessary to transform the practice into a neurological habit. This transformation from a reactive being, at the mercy of circumstances, to a magnetic being that attracts its reality, doesn't happen overnight. It requires building a new neurological habit, creating a new neural pathway to calm and coherence that is stronger and faster than the old pathways of stress and fear. The implementation strategy to achieve this is surprisingly simple, but it demands consistency. The key is to practice the complete protocol, with its 4 breathing cycles, once a day, every day, for at least 21 days. The morning, right after waking up, is the ideal time for this daily practice. Before the demands of the day, emails, news, and worries begin to flood your system with stress hormones. You have a window of opportunity. By performing the 4-minute protocol in the morning, you establish a tone of coherence and security for the rest of the day. It's like calibrating your instrument before the concert begins. You start the day from a place of power and centeredness, instead of starting already in a reactive state. But beyond the daily maintenance practice, there's the tactical application. This protocol is a tool you can and should use strategically during high-pressure moments in your life. Think of it as your secret superpower. Do you have an important negotiation? A difficult conversation with a family member? A public presentation that makes you anxious? A first date that makes you nervous? Before any of these events, find a quiet place, even if it's the bathroom, and do the 4-minute protocol. Use it whenever the opportunity is present, but you feel your body might betray you with a stress response. Remember, opportunity and threat can seem identical to a dysregulated nervous system. This practice ensures your body interprets the situation as an opportunity, allowing you to access your clarity, charisma, and creativity, instead of being hijacked by anxiety. It's the difference between shining under pressure and crumbling under it. Real-world examples are powerful. A financial consultant in Dallas, who participated in a pilot program with this technique, began applying it religiously before his meetings with potential clients. In just 30 days, his new business closing rate jumped from 42% to an impressive 71%. He didn't change his sales pitch or presentation materials. He changed his frequency. Clients sensed something different about him. A calmness, a confidence, a security they couldn't name, but which made them trust him and sign the contract. What truly changes with this practice, especially in the beginning, is not the external world. What changes most immediately and profoundly is your response to the world. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop being a victim of your emotions and become the master of your inner state. And this inner change, your newfound ability to remain calm and centered under pressure, is the true indicator that transformation is happening. It is the first sign that your external reality is about to change. This is the sign you should be looking for. Don't expect $1 million to appear in your account tomorrow. Instead, pay attention to how you feel the next time you're stuck in traffic or when you receive criticism. That change in your reactivity is the leading indicator, the first fruit of your labor, and proof that your inner garden is finally becoming fertile. The true sign that your practice is working, that you are truly changing your biology, is not the instantaneous manifestation of a new car in your garage or $1 million bank account. These are outcome indicators that will come with time. The leading indicator, the first sign of real and profound change, is internal. It's subtle, but it's the most important of all. Start monitoring not what you get from the world, but how you respond to the world. Change begins with your reactivity. Pay attention to how you feel in moments of pressure. The next time your boss criticizes you, a client yells at you, or you receive an unexpected bill, observe your first reaction. Does your heart race immediately? Does your stomach clench into a knot? Do you feel a wave of anger or panic? Or do you realize that, although the situation is challenging, there is a small space of calm within you? Are you able to take a deep breath and respond clearly instead of exploding? That shift in your reaction is gold. When an unexpected opportunity arises, observe your body. Does it frighten you? Does your body tense up with fear of the unknown, of risk, of the possibility of failure? Or do you feel a surge of curiosity and excitement? Does your body expand, lean forward, ready to explore the new? The ability to embrace the unexpected with openness instead of fear is a clear sign that your nervous system is shifting from survival mode to creation mode. You are learning to dance with uncertainty. The fundamental change occurs when your nervous system begins to interpret pressure, stress, and novelty not as a threat, but simply as information. Stress ceases to be a monster that devours you and becomes a messenger that informs you. You stop living in a state of constant reaction and begin to live in a state of conscious reception. You become someone whose nervous system can finally receive the infinite opportunities that the universe has been trying to deliver to you for a long time. Manifestation isn't about making things magically appear out of nowhere. It's about becoming the person whose biology is calibrated to receive. It's about removing internal barriers, nervous system static, the noise of fear and trauma, so that the signal of opportunity can be received clearly and embraced with confidence. It's about stopping self-sabotage at the most fundamental level of your physiology. You are no longer chasing butterflies, desperately running after what you desire. You are cultivating a garden. You are tending to the soil of your nervous system, watering it consistently, fertilizing it safely. And when your inner garden becomes a vibrant, healthy, and welcoming place, the butterflies of manifestation come to you on their own. They are drawn to the fragrance of your new frequency. This is the true quantum secret, the truth that connects spirituality to biology. The change is not in what you do, but in who you become. And by becoming this new person, with a resilient nervous system and a coherent heart, you simply activate what has always been dormant within you, waiting to be awakened. You are not adding anything new. You are simply returning to your true nature. At the end of this journey, modern science, with its brain mapping and electromagnetic field measurements, and ancestral wisdom, with its texts on energy and consciousness, meet at a dazzling point of convergence. They shake hands and agree. What ancient texts called communication with the divine, science today calls vagal coherence and electromagnetic field communication. They are simply different languages to describe the same fundamental truth. The Sushumna Nadi of yogis and the vagus nerve of neuroscientists are not two different things. They are two names from two different cultures and eras for the same biological and energetic reality. There is a master channel within us that connects us to a greater intelligence, to a deeper order of the universe. It is a two-way street, a bridge between our individual being and the cosmos. And this bridge is not a metaphor. It is made of nerves, energy, and frequency. The practice you learned, this 4-minute protocol, isn't about installing something new into your system. It's not an app you download. It's about activating what's already there, what's always been there, dormant beneath layers of stress, trauma, social conditioning, and limiting beliefs. You're not creating new power from scratch. You're simply reclaiming an innate right, a power that is yours by birth, but that you've been taught to forget. The 4-minute protocol is the key that turns the ignition. It awakens your body's innate ability to heal itself, to regulate itself, and to communicate with the field of infinite potentiality in a language that the field understands, the language of frequency. By practicing and cultivating elevated vagal tone, you are doing much more than just improving your health or your ability to manifest things. You are reconnecting with your own essence. You are reconnecting with the calm, clarity, and power that reside in the silent center of your being, a place that exists before fear, before anxiety, before the story you tell yourself. You are returning home to your natural state of being. The peace and power you seek are not out there, in some future achievement. They are already within you, waiting to be accessed. You already possess the channel. The door to this deeper connection has always been there, within your own biology. The problem was never the absence of the door, but the lack of the key. Now you have the key. You have a practical and powerful tool to open this door whenever you want and allow the flow of life, creativity, and abundance to move through you. And when you live from that place, life ceases to be a force to be fought, a battle to be won. It becomes a dance to be enjoyed. You become a partner of the universe, co-creating your reality in a rhythm of harmony and flow. The greatest quantum secret of all time is this: the power is not outside, it is within. And now, you know how to activate it. If you've made it this far, it's no coincidence. It means you're ready to stop being a spectator in your life and become its creator. To let me know you've received this message, leave the following phrase in the comments: the key is within me. And if you felt a calling to help this channel grow more directly, there's an option to contribute in the first pinned comment. Any help you can give is very important to me so I can continue spreading more content like this. But understand that just by watching this video to the end, you're already helping immensely. If you can, share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. And before you leave, your journey doesn't end here. I've prepared a special video for you to take the next step, to delve even deeper into what we've discussed, so don't leave yet. Click on the video that's appearing on the screen now, and let's meet there.